Hi again, students. Welcome back to this topic, asexual reproduction. So in this video, we are going to cover on the three more types of asexual reproduction. The fifth type is regeneration. This is a process when an organism can regrow certain parts of its body if it loses them. For example, if it loses one limb, maybe because of injury by predators, it can regrow the lost limb again. How convenient is that? The whole process is not intended though, as it is an accidental process. For example, starfish. Do you know that if a starfish lost one of its limbs, it can regrow it back, just like before? The interstitial cells in its body wall are the one that is responsible with the regeneration process. Another common example is lizard. Have you ever tried to catch a lizard and all you get is its tail? Or maybe not trying to catch them, but maybe you found only its tail. It's actually part of their self-defense mechanism to distract their predators, and it is possible because of this regeneration. Bear in mind though, regeneration does not produce another new individual, as in fragmentation. It is a process that will result to a new body parts or limbs, and the original individual will not be multiplied. Let's do a quick recap. In fragmentation, parent organism is fragmented and all fragments develop to become new organisms. So, from one parent organism, it will result to more new organisms depending on how many fragments. This is usually observed for flatworms and sponges. On the other hand, regeneration is when one organism restores or regrows any lost or amputated body parts. Remember, the lost body parts will not develop to become another individual. Only new body parts will result in this process. Examples of animals with this type of reproduction are starfish and lizards. Now let's go to the most common type of asexual reproduction, vegetative reproduction or propagation. This process is usually observed in plants. This is when new independent plant is developed from vegetative parts of the same plant. The unique part here is the vegetative structures which are specialized for the purpose of asexual reproductions. Some of the examples of organs for vegetative propagation are bulbs, tubers, runners, and rhizomes. Okay, surely you have learned about this in school, but let's do a quick recap of these organs. First one is bulb, a short underground stem surrounded by thick fleshy leaves. Easy example, onion. You can see in this picture a short underground stem of an onion. Second one, tuber. Also an underground stem, yet larger and contains stored food. In asexual reproduction, the buds that grow from the stem will develop to become new plant. Example, potato. Tubers, the enlarged underground stem, is the part where we consume as food. For example, your French fries from potato. And it is also the vegetative structure for asexual reproduction. Next is runners. This is also a stem, yet not underground, but grows sideways and has buds. The stem usually grows along the surface of the ground. For example, strawberries. So, runners are stem that grows on the surface of the ground and buds of new daughter plants. Moving on to rhizome. Also a stem that grows sideways, but this time it is underground. Usually thick and fleshy, and most common examples are ginger and turmeric. So, this is how a rhizome looks like, which is underground fleshy stem. Vegetative propagation can happen naturally and also artificially, which means with the help of us humans. You see, in order to increase the yield of crop productions, for example, or just for the purpose of producing more plants at home, this vegetative propagation can be done. Many methods are developed in order to grow plants with the desired traits, and this is actually artificial vegetative propagation. Let's have a look at these two examples. Firstly, through cutting. What is cutting? Cuttings are actually any vegetative parts of the plant that is cut and then usually placed in water for some time to allow roots to grow. Once roots develop, then the cuttings can be transferred to the soil and grown as a new plant. This method is quite common and easily done by anyone. Cuttings can be made with the stem. You can try this with hibiscus, tapioca, and even cangkok manis. You also can propagate your plants with its leaf. For example, snake plants. Second example of artificial vegetative propagation is grafting. This method involves the stem or bud of the plant. In grafting, a stem or bud is removed from one plant and then permanently joined to another stem of a different plant. These two different individual plants, however, must be closely related, or in other words, in the same species. Only then the grafting can produce a new individual plant. This is how it looks like to do a grafting. One stem from one plant is joined to another different plant. Now, the last type of asexual reproduction is parthenogenesis. This one is quite interesting, I must say. Reproduction with this method involves the development of new individuals from unfertilized eggs. So, female produce eggs, and then the eggs will further develop without fertilization by the male. Only female. Let's see more about this by looking at one of the example here, lizards. New Mexico whiptail is a female-only species of lizard. In other words, the whole population is only females. Due to the absence of males, this all-female population has managed to reproduce by parthenogenesis. How? Ovulation still takes place, and it is stimulated by the mating behavior among this all-female species population. Eggs produced are not fertilized by males, but still develop as there is a doubling of chromosomes after meiosis. The unfertilized eggs will continue to develop, and after they are fully matured, eggs will hatch and new individuals are produced. Another example is Komodo dragon, a large species of lizard. In a circumstance where there is no male available, a female Komodo dragon can reproduce parthenogenetically. This is actually similar with the whiptail lizard, where the unfertilized eggs will develop and baby Komodo will be produced. The Komodo dragon you see in this picture is in Komodo Island, Indonesia. Eggs that are produced by the females are haploid and the chromosomes number is doubled. Komodo dragon primarily reproduced sexually, yet perhaps due to factors as being isolated in their natural habitat, they may reproduce by parthenogenesis as well. Here's a short write-up of these Komodo dragons. So that's a wrap for this topic, asexual reproduction. Easy peasy. Don't forget to complete the quiz on ELIP, and if you have any questions regarding this topic, you can choose any of these 3 options to reach me. Thank you and good luck.